Hi everyone, it's Brittany, and today I am going to be reading a client's email, and she has given me permission to do so, so thank you so much. I'm going to read it because I know that so many of you are in this same experience right now. You're feeling this way. I've gotten lots and lots of emails and comments about this same idea. So I want to present it to you and explain why truly none of this matters. So, hi, Brittany. I haven't managed to stay strong in my new chosen identity. I often return to feeling in lack and fear, and it's not happening. I wake up in anxiety, no matter how much I allow it to just be there every morning. It's overwhelming thoughts like, you're this age, it hasn't happened until now. When will it ever happen? There are so many experiences you haven't lived yet. You're wasting time. He's probably moved on and you're still stuck. What if he never comes back, etc. Nothing is changing and you haven't got time to lose. How do I stop being aware of the lack in my life, or what do I replace it with? I want to be with my SP already. How do I stop looking in the 3D and judging it? You told me to decide that I'm in an amazing relationship with this guy. I am. It's happening. Then what do I do now, day by day? I don't want to imagine or focus on it anymore. I just want it to finally be experienced by my physical character. I want to experience that amazing relationship already. It hurts so much that this isn't showing up. Just give me one thing to practice that will make everything else be fully experienced by my physical self as well. How do I just be and not wait? I feel like I'm waiting for everything to finally unfold. Okay, guys. So, to this client and to all of you that have these same feelings and thoughts, please, please understand that you are not here to ignore your 3D world. You're not here to live in fear. You're not here to feel like you have to tiptoe around your experience. That's not what I have ever told you to do. So it's not about ignoring. It's not about pretending like it's not there. And it's also not about convincing your human self of anything, to be honest. What this is from this foundational truth of I am, of source. You are choosing in consciousness who you say you are, from the understanding that as a multi-dimensional infinite being, you are already all of it here and now. So when you declare something, you claim, I am this person, I am in this relationship with this particular man, and this is who I am. When you do that, immediately your job is to no longer rely on the 3D world to tell you what is true. Now, everything is instant. So the 3D is a reflection of who you are being in consciousness. It's who you're aware of being, who you identify with. But here's the thing. There's often lots and lots of forms changing, like I say all the time, that appear from that previous identity, that previous state of consciousness. So it's not old. I don't call it old or any of that. It's simply just one part of yourself, one identity, one thing that exists within you. So you do nothing with it. You move through your world. You move through your day. You do whatever it is that you would normally be doing before you knew anything about manifestation, before you knew anything about any of this kind of stuff. Understanding who you truly are, the truth. How did you live your life? You didn't live your life in waiting for something or someone. Sure, you have brief periods of waiting for things, but you don't stay there. You don't stay in a state of waiting. So most people that are trying to manifest get themselves into this identity of someone that, number one, is trying to make something happen and who feels like they have to manipulate and control everything that's going on. You don't have to control your thoughts. You do not have to control the way that you're feeling. And you definitely don't need to micromanage and judge the 3D experience. And in fact, when you do, you're keeping yourself in this illusion of feeling like you're stuck and you're not experiencing what you want. None of that is your job. None of that is what is required of you to have what you want. Again, the only thing that is required of you is to embody, choose, identify, claim, declare, whatever word you want to use. It truly doesn't matter. But you are now aware that this is who you are because you say so. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you can choose that I am aware that I will be in this relationship. Guaranteed, end of story. Because when I claim something, when I declare it, it is a fact. It is a fact and it must express. But when you keep jumping in and out of these identities of, I am this person, I will be this person, I'm not this person, what's happening out here, I still have to do this, I still have to do that, why do I feel this way, why am I having these thoughts, why does this look this way? That's not you choosing to be who you say you are. That's not you denying the 3D world. That's not you trusting, having faith in the unseen. All you're doing is choosing to believe in the seen, in the 3D, in the forms, which are constantly changing. It's very obvious to see that your whole life, all you've been experiencing is your own consciousness and the state that you identify with. That's all that it is. So what most of you are doing is, okay, I've chosen, I've decided. Why isn't it happening? Where is it? What do? I had this thought. I feel this way. Now what? Again, all of that's irrelevant. But if you keep stopping to focus on it and to make it relevant in your experience, all you're doing is implying that you are not this person. That's it. That's all that there is. So again, when you say things like, how do I stop looking into 3D and judging it? You're not going to stop looking at your 3D world. This is where you experience life. You're not stopping looking at it. Thank you. But it's irrelevant to who you are. So go out and live your life. Go out on dates for all I care. Go hang out with friends. Read, take a walk. I don't know. What is it that you enjoy? Because here's the thing, guys. When you get into this relationship, when you're experiencing it, you can't put everything into that person or that relationship. You can't rely on validation from this other person to know who you are. You'll never experience a consistent, fulfilling relationship if that's what you're doing. So all that I'm saying to you is stop trying to force something to happen out there and acknowledge the fact that the only way that things can change is when you choose yourself. When you choose to define yourself in whatever way you want to experience yourself. You're not doing it to get a boyfriend. You're not doing it to manifest someone or something. It's all already here. You're not even manifesting. And you guys know that I say this. You're not manifesting anything. You are literally making the unseen seen. But when you keep judging by appearances, when you continue to use your thoughts to determine who you are, when you base your feelings or your identity off of your feelings, rather, you're just keeping yourself in the same state of being, in that same identity. And you're choosing an illusion over reality. Your reality. The 3D is not an illusion. It's a dead world. It has no creative power. Thoughts do not create. Feelings do not create. Circumstances absolutely do not create. Nothing creates but you. So sure, you can give your power away to thoughts and allow them to create for you. You can give your power away to feelings and to circumstances and allow them to have the appearance of creating for you. but they're not. They're not. They can't. They are not the source. They are manifestations. You are the source. You choose. You determine who you are without needing proof, without needing this validation from the 3D world. And I don't know what it's going to take for every one of you. Everybody is different. But I was just talking to a client the other day, and she came to me and said, it's like I know all of this, and then I keep getting burned. I keep doing this to myself. I keep waiting for this guy to tell me something. I keep waiting for this guy to show up and do something to prove to me that I am who I say I am. And it's becoming very, very clear that I can't do that. And I said, you're right. And you know what? I don't know if I've shared this in a video with you guys before, but looking at my relationships in my lifetime and looking at my girlfriend's relationships, I always used to wonder, why is it that we can both have, awful relationships where we're feeling the same way, we're experiencing a lot of the same things, but in the end, they end up getting into an amazing, healthy relationships, and I keep getting into more toxic, more unhealthy, and worse than before, worse than the previous relationships. Hopefully that makes sense. And it became very apparent to me. The only difference between me and these friends were that once they ended that horrible relationship, they looked at that and they said, you know what? That man was the one that lost out here. That man doesn't deserve me. And I know that I am going to find someone who does see the value in me, who does know how amazing I am. And they did, and they would. Whereas me, when my relationship ended, I internalized it and I would literally rack my brain about why? What is wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? Why am I not pretty enough? Why am I not smart enough? Why am I not funny enough? It didn't matter what it was, but I was using everything I experienced to define me instead of the other way around, instead of standing up for myself and saying, no, I'm not going to see myself that way. And look, I know that there's so many of you guys that will tell me things like, I know I'm amazing. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm good enough. And I want you to feel that. I want all of you to feel that way. But guess what? Just because you know all of that doesn't mean that you're experiencing it. Doesn't mean that. And a lot of people will say that to me. I know I'm good enough. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm amazing. I know I offer a lot in a relationship, but this person doesn't see it. But yet I don't have it yet. That's the only thing that's keeping you stuck. And you're not stuck. It's the feeling of being stuck or the appearance of being stuck, but that's the only thing that's doing it. It's this idea that no matter how I think about myself, I still don't have it. I still don't get what I want. And so the 3D can only comply with that. Yes, you are amazing. You are worthy, but yet no one else sees it. No one else shows you that. You still don't have the relationship. So that's all it can show you. Now, I'm not invalidating the fact that you want to experience this in 3D. I don't know how many times I've said that. I'm not here telling you not to want experiences. Seriously, what would be the point of doing any of this? I wouldn't even be here filming this video, or any video for that matter. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you have that relationship in consciousness, who you say you are, who you are aware of being. And again, you have to have the courage to declare something for yourself without the proof of it, without the 3D evidence of it. But this is what you've done your whole life. You've done it over and over and over again. This is how you're currently living the experience that you're living, because you bought into these ideas that if SP isn't texting me, oh, he must be with someone else. He must not care about me. He must not want to talk to me anymore. He doesn't like me as much as whatever. It doesn't matter. All from the fact that you didn't get a text. So please understand that once you choose this, once you decide that this is who you are, hands off. Hands off of trying to figure out what's going on, of trying to force something into being. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. As source, you declare who you are, and then you trust in that. And guys, the trust is a choice. Again, everything is a choice. There's no requirement to trusting in something. I was talking to someone else about this, and she was like, well, how can I trust in something that you tell me is here? You tell me it's who I am, but I can't see it. I can't see it. And actually, I can't even feel it. And I said, okay, I get that. I totally get that. Why are you trusting in your thoughts that are also invisible, that you also can't see? And she was like, good point. I guess I'm trusting in them because they're so real to me. They feel so relevant. And I said, yeah, of course, because your thoughts, your human self, can only pull from the seen and the experienced and the known. And what is that? That's your past that doesn't exist. There is no past. You guys know this, but that's what the mind pulls from. These stories that are created based off of the identity that you're occupying. These identities come with their own built-in stories, experiences, meanings, all of it. So all it's pulling from is a previous identity. You don't want to stay there anymore. You chose something different. So now you trust in the unknown. You trust in the unseen. And the way that I suggest you guys do this is every day, talk to source. And yes, it's who you are. It's you. But sometimes from the human perspective, it feels easier to talk to source. So what I used to do is put my hand over my heart and talk and say things like, thank you. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for having my back. I love you. I trust in you. And I know that you can work in ways that I, as this human, could never understand or comprehend. So I'm putting my trust in you. I'm putting my faith in you because I know, after all, that you and I are one. There is no separation between me and I am, between me and source, regardless of what you think from the human perspective. There's no separation. So again, choosing to trust in source instead of trusting in an illusion, instead of trusting in old news that you no longer choose to experience. So how do I just be and not wait? I feel like I'm waiting for everything to finally unfold. Well, there's so many different things that you can do. I've given lots and lots of suggestions. I don't know what your personal life looks like moment by moment, so I can't tell you what to do in your day-to-day life. But what I can say is this: if you are trusting in yourself, if you are trusting in source, if you are trusting in I am who I say that I am, none of that matters. None of that is relevant. It comes from the identity of I am not. So the you that's experiencing this beautiful relationship, is she asking, how do I stop waiting for it? The you that is enjoying being herself, enjoying life, loving her experiences, is she asking how she can stop noticing lack in her life? No, that's the I am not. So it becomes very obvious that any thoughts, any feelings, any experiences that don't align with who you say you are, we're not ignoring them. We're not pretending they're not there. They're just irrelevant. They're irrelevant to who I say I am. They're irrelevant to who I've chosen to be. So therefore, I don't need to do anything with them. I don't need to figure them out. I don't need to manage them. I don't need to work around it. It's none of that. It's living your human experience while also being aware that you are who you say you are right now, right here. That's it. I've said it in so many ways, guys. The 3D world will never, ever, ever, ever provide you with anything that you're looking for. You do that. You choose that for yourself. And you don't have to keep focusing on it. You don't have to keep imagining it. You don't have to over and over and over again visualize or affirm or whatever. You just have to choose to remember who you are and trust that everything is happening right now in this moment. It's all being done for you. It could be no other way, because when you, as I am, as the only source of your entire life experience, when you declare it, when you claim something, it must be so. Just stop declaring all of these other things right after. Stop using the 3D to determine who you are. It's never going to give you what you want, I promise. So it's choosing it right now, choosing to drop everything and fully go all in as source, which is simply just a choice. Or you can continue to do this little game and play with yourself and over again, tease yourself and make yourself feel bad. And either way, you will still get to a point where you recognize that you can't rely on the 3D to tell you who you are. It's all from a previous state of being. So, who are you choosing to be? Are you using your past to determine that for you? If you are, you will experience what it feels like Groundhog Day every single day. Or are you choosing that I am new now? I am who I say I am now. And because I am, everything is different, regardless of what my senses show me, regardless of what my thoughts say, regardless of how I feel. And in fact, I personally know that when my thoughts go crazy and when my feelings feel horrible and when circumstances appear to contradict who I say I am, that I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm exactly who I say I am, because thoughts and feelings and the experiences, the human part of you, is dying out. It's dying out and it's doing everything it can to survive. I've used this analogy before. That's all that matters, guys. We don't need to get into what's literally happening. Like, yes, technically, it's all right now. It's all an instant reflection of who you're being. But if you're using it to determine who you're being, this is where we get stuck. So stop trying to test yourself and see if this is who you're being. Just choose to be it. Choose to be it over and over again, because this is what you want. This is who you want to be. So, one more time, let's go back around through the questions to make sure I've answered all of them. You don't need to stop looking into the 3D. You just need to stop using it to tell you who you are. You don't control your thoughts. You don't control the feelings. In fact, you allow them all to be there while choosing to remember, I'm still who I say I am. No matter how I feel, no matter what thoughts are coming in, I'm still this person. And that's it. If you continue to define yourself as somebody that is trying to manifest, waiting for it to happen, looking for it, again, you're not being the person. You're not being the person. And like I said at the beginning, you don't have to claim it as I am this right now. I'm experiencing this right now. I understand that everything is now. So for me, that's what feels best. You don't have to use that. If those words don't feel good, that's fine. But choose that I will be experiencing this no matter what, because this is what I say. This is what I choose. And I will continue to choose it over and over and over again until I decide I don't want to be this anymore. Because guys, this doesn't end when the 3D form appears. It doesn't. And I've had so many people that choose to be this person, go off living their lives. And of course, they get this amazing experience, a 3D form showing itself to prove that this is who they're being. And then in that moment, they jump right back into that trying to manifest identity of, oh my God, I think it might be working. Okay, what should I do now? How do I deal with this? What should I say here? You're this person. Why are you trying to control or micromanage or manipulate things if this is who you are? And so most people will tell me everything was working. I had all this stuff happening and then it just stopped. What did I do wrong? Well, you abandoned your identity. You abandoned who you say you were to choose to be this person that was not quite there yet. That's it. So if there's any practice, the practice is choosing to know who you are. However often you need to, it doesn't matter. But choosing to know that regardless of what happens, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what appearances might look like, you're still this person, you're still who you say you are, and you're trusting in the unseen, which is you as reality. All right, guys, I hope that this video was helpful for you. I know that it will be. Thank you so much for allowing me to read this email on the channel. I just know it's going to be helpful. And yeah, I think from here on out for quite some time, I'm not focusing on these type of things anymore. I'm not focusing on what do I do? How do I handle this thought? What do I do with this feeling? Guys, if that's where you are, you're going to need to start practicing being I am, being the source, knowing yourself. And I can do a video on that, but I think I've made it very clear. There's no specific way to do this. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. At any given moment, you have the choice. Are you going to choose this 3D illusion? The human, very, very limited human? Or are you going to choose yourself as source? I am this infinite intelligence that knows beyond what we can understand and comprehend as a human. All right, guys, I hope that this video was helpful and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Oh, I am doing the Q&A. I filmed it. It was quite long, and then there was no sound for whatever reason. I must have done something. I don't know what I did, but I have to refilm it. So I promise you that that's going to be out very, very soon. I just have to refilm it again. And it, like I said, it was quite a lot of questions. So I'm getting to it as soon as possible. I'm so sorry about that. Stay tuned for that video. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your week.